All guests on ZASLOW Show 2.0 are brought to us by the official beer of the program. You know, we're talking Johnny Cuba, European roots with a Caribbean soul, a refreshing German lager in a can. Go to johnnycuba.us. You can find the nearest location to you. How else are we enjoying the Heat game tonight than an ice-cold Johnny Cuba in your hand? Make sure you always drink responsibly. And don't forget Johnny Cuba's mantra, stay tranquilo. And joining us now, look at Joy Taylor here with us on the program. We have not spoken to Joy on ZASLOW Show 2.0 in a little while, although she did make an excellent pop-in, more than a pop-in. You were on with us for close to an hour, I would say. You joined the Steaks and Steaks broadcast, Levitard show with me, watching the Heat game for everybody to see me in all of my anxiety. Where Joy, I won everything, and I'm going to Pearl Jam tomorrow and Saturday night. How about that?
I told you. Oh, ye of little faith.
Ye of little faith. They won 37 games this year, the Heat. They lost more than they won. It's not about ye of little faith. Luckily for me, they only had to beat the Atlanta Hawks. All right, that was the faith, is that you're playing the Hawks.
Right. But, I mean, yeah, we're likely going to, lose in the first round. But it wasn't about that. It was about winning one game, and the Heat are going to do that.
Now, Joy, so I'm going to Pearl Jam tomorrow night, right, and I'm also going Saturday night, and they're home shows. I mean, it's so rare. I've never seen them this close to my home. You know how important. Like, I think Dan may have been taken a little bit aback when I went in there a week plus ago and told, like, I'm searching for Pearl Jam tickets. I haven't been able to get. It's the hardest ticket I've ever had in my life, and it's consuming my life that I don't have these tickets, and it's making me crazy. I think he was a little taken aback at how passionate I am about it. You know how passionate I am about them.
Yeah, Pearl Jam is your life. Like I would say in the rankings of ZASLOW importance, I'm going to principally say your family, but I think that Pearl Jam is like it's like 1A.
Yeah, like when people say
and then the Heat, like and then like all other South Florida sports teams. Like
they were shocked. They were shocked when they asked me that. Like Dan asked me, who do you care about more? Who's more important to you, Pearl Jam or the Miami Heat? I told him Pearl Jam. Yeah, I told him, like, Pearl Jam loves me unconditionally. Pearl Jam always gives me, is always great to me. I don't ever leave Pearl Jam saying that wasn't amazing. There are sometimes you could leave the Heat game, you're like, that shit fucking sucked. and like it never happens with Pearl Jam. It's 100% joy.
You've never been to like a mediocre Pearl Jam show?
No, it's my favorite thing to do in the whole world.
How many times have you seen Pearl Jam?
Tomorrow will be 28.
28?
Yeah, and I'm seeing them, and starting with tomorrow, I'm seeing them 3 times in 8 days.
Do they know you personally?
No.
You've never met a member of Pearl Jam?
I haven't, and it's weird because it's not that, don't meet your idols, and it's not like I think that they'll be assholes. From everything I could tell, Eddie Vedder is apparently the sweetest man, okay? But I don't know. It's kind of one of those deals where I have my opinion of them, and I'm good with my opinion of them. Like, I wouldn't want the interaction to go less than I would want it to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Like, is there someone...
Meeting your idols is very tricky.
Yeah, like is there someone out there that you've never met who you really admire? Who would that be? Like if you had to think of 1 or 2 people you've never met, you really admire, and in theory, it would be really nice to be able to meet them.
I've been in the presence of Beyonce, but we haven't met. Like, we were in the same room.
Okay, so like you would so in theory, you'd love to sit down with Beyonce for 5 minutes and just chit chat about anything. Just so you have that experience where maybe you get to know her a little bit and she realizes, oh, Joy, she's a really nice girl and she's a big fan of mine. But wouldn't you be worried that, I don't know, what if that interaction goes so great?
Well, I don't know that, like, Beyonce is pretty much the only person who I go see live, like who I spend money to go see. I like live music, but I like live music in like small venues.
Well, that's what this is that I'm going to tomorrow. I've never seen Pearl Jam in a small venue.
I mean like a
club.
Like a live music venue, like a jazz show, something like that. I'm not a big like uncontrolled crowd person. So I'll go to like maybe 3 or 4 shows a year, but most of the other shows are like random invites that I'll go to. Beyonce is someone that I'll like plan and spend money to go see. So yeah, Beyonce would be cool. It'd be cool to meet like Oprah. I've met 3 presidents.
Really? Who?
I met Barack, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump.
Like, you've shaken their hands?
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I've had conversations with Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, and I had a conversation with Donald Trump as well. Donald wasn't president when I talked to him, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible, though. I can't even imagine, knowing that I shook Barack Obama's hand or I shook Bill Clinton's hand after. I think it's a little different if you meet Trump before president.
Yeah, I met him pre-president. I met him like apprentice days.
Yeah, but still, Barack Obama and Bill Clinton shaking their hand. Mr. President, nice to meet you. That's amazing.
It was cool.
Yeah. Cool.
They didn't disappoint. Trump didn't actually disappoint either. He was very on brand.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you're a good-looking girl. He meets you. He's gonna at least look you in the eye while you guys are saying hello. He loves women. Like, he used to go on the Howard Stern show and rate women. Like, he loves pretty girls. Of course, he was gonna he'll shake your hand, he'll look you in the eye, and yeah,
yeah.
I would imagine
it went as you thought it would go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, meeting people is a tricky business because you can meet people and it'd be disappointing, but the reality is, like, I'm very jaded. I would think that we both are. Like, we work in this business, so we meet a lot of people all the time.
Yeah, it'll take a lot to get me starstruck.
Yeah, and I would also say, like, I'm not really that judgy of people who I don't have great interactions with because the fuck, like, I don't know what's going on in their life. Like, they could be having a terrible day, and now they've got me in their face, and it's a lot to be on all the time. We used to say this all the time. This is why we love interviewing wrestlers, because wrestlers are uniquely always on, always. So they're the best interviews because you're never going to get any other version of them than who they are. It's like they're the best interviews, the most consistent across the board, at least to me.
Yeah, that's why, like, I remember when we would do the show, or even when I would do the show with Amber, and neither one of you know wrestling, I'm like, listen, they're always going to be great. They're fun interviews, and clearly you get it. And Amber was the same way. She loved when we would have the pro wrestlers on because they were always great talkers and they were fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and they tell stories and they're just always on. They have a lot of energy. So, yeah, but I feel you, though. It's maybe just preserve your Pearl Jam.
Yeah, like
manhood.
Yeah, would it be nice to meet the band one day? Yeah, really nice. I don't want to play that down, but it's not something that I'm like, oh my God, I really hope I get to meet them one day. Like, I'm good with what they've provided me in my life, and I'm good to continue that relationship the way that it currently is, So going tomorrow night, it'll be like I said, 3 shows in 8 days starting tomorrow night. It's like I'm a kid again. I'm super excited about it. You must be super excited. Also, tomorrow night is the first round of the NFL draft. I will not be seeing it because I will be at Pearl Jam. That's okay. But what is your setup tomorrow night? Because, I don't know if your nephew Mason is going to be drafted first round, but I suppose there's an outside chance, right?
Yeah, he's projected first, second round. So I think Warren is, obviously across the board projected to go first. From the tight ends, but yeah, he's a first or second rounder, depending on who you ask, and obviously depending on what team and how the draft unfolds. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm also like, I'm excited for him, but I'm nervous because, for 15 years I watched this sport with a severe emotional attachment in my brother. And since he's retired in 2011, so for a while now, I've been able to watch it without that, and now it's back. And it's like a familiar anxiety, like when your family plays in something, when your family is a part of something, it's very different.
So you feel that something has been missing?
Well, I mean, certainly when you go from like caring that much, like imagine if one of your sons was playing. Like imagine how much you care now. Now add that to it. Like you'd be a Celtics fan if
let's not get crazy.
You would find a way to justify it. Yeah, it's just a different feeling. And then like, we work in the business, so we get a little bit jaded to fandom from, covering sports in general. So it's an interesting sensation that is that's going to be back after tomorrow, depending on where Mason goes.
What do you imagine? Okay, so you're not going to be with your family. You're going to be watching from afar, right?
Not tomorrow. I'll be with them this weekend though.
Oh, okay. So will you, if he gets selected, let's say late tomorrow night, which again, really strong tight end class. I don't know that that's going to happen, but are you going to get tipped off before you see it flash across the screen?
Probably not. It doesn't happen that, I mean, maybe like someone will text me, but like, it's not, I'm not the priority of getting a text. Like, text my mom first. Yeah, I'll experience it with everybody else.
Do you remember what it was like when Jason was drafted? Now he was what, a 4th round pick?
He was a 3rd round pick.
Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah. We had everybody at the house. And he kept checking the phone line because this was nice.
Make sure it works.
To make sure that no one had like bumped the phone line out from the wall. And then eventually Jimmy Johnson called and drafted him. But I remember seeing him like walk up and down the street on the phone with Jimmy, which was wild. And now I don't even know, what is it, 97? So Jesus.
28 years.
28 years later, it's gonna be my nephew, which is crazy.
Yeah, really cool. So biggest story going into tomorrow night, it's Shedeur Sanders, right?
I think so. I mean, every year for the draft, we pick somebody, and by we, I mean like the sports collective, because I just disagree with what's happening with Shedeur, but we pick somebody to pick on. Like, there's somebody that they've got to try to find a reason why they shouldn't go as high as they're going. And, like I said this yesterday on the show, I don't know that it's like a super decided difference between Cam Ward and Shedeur as prospects. Like, we all know this is not a heavy quarterback draft. Jackson Dart is probably going to be overdrafted. Like, and the quarterback is the most important position in the league. Now, I will say the need for quarterbacks doesn't seem as deep as it normally is. But at the top of the draft, like, you've got Cleveland, who absolutely needs a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And you've got the Giants, who I understand have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. But Jameis is not a starting quarterback. He's barely a bridge guy. And Russ is a bridge quarterback at this point. Like, otherwise he would still be in Pittsburgh. So the idea that like the Giants, can you hear that awful alarm?
It's okay.
I can shut the window.
No, as long as you're talking, you can hardly hear it.
Okay. Sorry. There's this idea that the Giants don't need a quarterback. And I think it's so strange. Like, yeah, the Giants do need a lot of other pieces, but let's say they run it with Russ and Jameis this year and they don't draft Shedeur. Right. Okay. So you've got no one in the wings waiting to take this over. Russ is at best going to win like 7-8 games, maybe. He wasn't.
I don't think they would win that many.
Right.
I think so, go really poor.
So let's say they win 6 games. Okay. So you've doubled your win total from last year, and you're now picking like kind of in the middle of the draft now instead of at the top of the draft. So next year you're still going to need a quarterback. Everyone's probably fired. And where are you now? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to me that if Shedeur falls to the Giants, which in my opinion would be him slipping because Cleveland also needs a quarterback, to trade back. And like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, and the Giants just always do this. So I feel like people are being hypercritical of Shador. I think it's because they don't like Dion. Honestly, I think they have a problem with Coach Prime, because we've just all just submitted that Cam Ward is going to go number 1 overall. But I haven't heard people banging on the table that there's like some massive gap between Shador and Cam as prospects. And I think obviously Cam is more of a runner, and I would give the nod to Cam, but it's not like there's a massive gap to me.
What do you make of what's going on with the Dolphins? Pretty decent chance before the start of the draft tomorrow they trade Jalen Ramsey. Like, I feel like that's the whole point, that you come up with the plan a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago. It's because you want to make a trade before this year's draft so you could use that pick this year.
I don't know. Look, you know how I feel about the state of the team at this point.
Well, I'll set it up like this. To me, you tell me if you disagree. To me, if they're trading away Jalen Ramsey, that to me is a sign they are telling you we are not a playoff team this year. Because if they thought they were a playoff team, all right, he's under contract. Let's keep him. Let's see what we could do. But if they're trading him away, they're telling you we're a couple years away from being a playoff team again. And by then, he's probably not an elite cornerback anymore. That's the Dolphins very loudly telling me they are not a playoff team this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess pick a strategy, like if you're not a team that's ready to compete, then trade the assets that you have and kind of reboot and build young.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate that strategy. It's just like,
Well, you hate it because Chris Greer, how many chances do you get?
I mean, the issue is also the division. Like, I don't know how good the Jets are going to be this year, but I certainly think they're going to be better than they were last year. And I don't know how good the Patriots are going to be this year, but it seems like those two teams are at least taking steps in the right direction. Within a couple of years, they could be really competitive teams. And obviously the Bills have dominated the division for 5-6 years now. And I think they're going to continue. I mean, they've got an MVP there. So it's just like, it's kind of like what happened with the Cowboys. Like, you can be sort of like that middling playoff team that has some good pieces and can be exciting during the regular season, and you can play that game. But like, other teams could eventually get their shit together. And now you look at even that division, like Cowboys are fighting for 3rd place in that division, just like that. The Eagles and Commanders are miles ahead of them. So to just continue to bank on that you're in a light division and you can figure things out, that can change. People are trying to win sometimes. And yeah, I mean, I guess to me, I just feel like the Dolphins are always kind of right there. And like the push over the finish line never fully goes the way it needs to go. So
let's push the heat to the side. One playoff series in the NBA right now, if you were only able to watch one, which one is it?
I think it's Nuggets Clippers. Both those games have been super competitive. And, Paul and I were talking about this the other day because obviously Kawhi Leonard's career has been sort of interesting and his availability has been a huge issue. But man, when Kawhi is healthy, he's like the purest version of basketball. Like,
he's the best player in the series and the other team has Jokic.
Yeah, like he's just, we forget because he's so unavailable, but like the mid-range game, like his defensive ability, like his shot making ability, his efficiency, like he's just so old school, like magical to watch. And that series isn't like really, I don't know how interesting it is, but like the games have just been really good. So, I don't want to watch a blowout. Obviously nobody does, but I also just don't want to watch bad basketball. Like that Lakers game last night, I'm like, guys,
you cannot possibly have watched the first 2 games of that series and think either one of those teams are shit. Neither one of them is shit. Like, they're not going to do anything.
Well, that was my takeaway from last night's game is like, man, yeah, like the Lakers evened it up, which I expected them to do, but they don't look ready to go on a run. Like that fourth quarter was insane. Like if Minnesota had been hitting any shots whatsoever,
and Minnesota's not a serious team either, by the way.
Like Minnesota would have come back and won that game. So yeah, I mean, I think the Clippers Nuggets has been the best series so far, competition wise. and we're getting to see like really good basketball. So
for me, it's Warriors Rockets. I love this series. I love the style of play of these two teams. I love the physicality. I love the toughness. I feel like I'm watching 1997 NBA when I'm watching that game one Warriors Rockets, and that is so my style. I love this series.
yeah, it's good, and I think it's interesting because like it's the resurgence of Ime, and Houston's so interesting to me because they're such a young team. Like, will that style of play that they have been using throughout the regular season transfer to the postseason? And this, if the Warriors go on a run, and I think we all just are just submitting that the Celtics are going to come out of the East, and it looks like that's probably going to be the case. If the Warriors were to win a championship this year and Steph has 5, it's gonna make it. It's gonna make it tough. These conversations are gonna get very tough.
Well, they won one game. Who is away?
But I mean, look, like I'm just saying, like that's where I think the West is wide open.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think now some of the games are blowouts, of course, but I think NBA playoffs are off to a great start, and I'm very critical of the NBA. I think the NBA playoffs are off to a great start. Now, are they the Stanley Cup playoffs? No, nothing touches that. Unbelievable, but I think the NBA playoffs are off to a great start. Joy, season 2, Too Personal, is back.
It is.
Tell everybody when it's starting, what kind of changes, what can we expect?
So we are actually launching today. The episode should have just gone up, actually. Our first episode is with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, who's a life coach and relationship coach. You've probably seen her clips with Cam Newton that went pretty viral. She's amazing. And yeah, we're shooting it in person this season. Last year when Taylor and I launched it, we did it virtually. And so this season, Taylor has NFL and NBA obligations that will keep her from doing the show. But we love her. And I'm doing it in person now. So having guests every episode, similar format to what I was doing at the end of last season, but a little different, having everybody in studio. We have Simba, Van Lathan, Cammie Crawford, Violet Benson, Wallow, and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant to start the season. So I'm really excited about it. It's been fun, like shooting in studio again.
And is it all relationship stuff, or could it be anything?
No, it's everything. Like this episode, I talk about Trump, Vance, and Musk trying to get the American women pregnant. They want a baby boom, which is really, they just want a working class. We're running low on working class people, and that's what they would like the American women to produce. And they're doing it under the guise of being pro-family, which I think is really cute, while also not doing anything about gun violence. So we send our kids to school and they get killed, but we're pro-family in this country. It's very confusing for me. But anyway, so I talk about that. Talked a little bit about Kanye.
That's some tweet.
And then we talked to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I do a harken back to just the tips. I do a never too personal segment every show, so you can like send in a question or story or whatever that I'll respond to. Not just limited to relationships, can be about anything. But yeah, I mean, it's culture, relationships, like politics, whatever I feel like talking about, whatever's trending that week.
Awesome. So first episode is out now wherever you get your podcasts. It's got a YouTube channel as well, so people can watch video of the show. There you go.
You can follow at Too Personal Show.
Awesome. And of course, you catch Joy every weekday, 5 p.m. Eastern, right? 5 p.m.
5 to 7 Eastern.
Yep, you catch her on Speak on FS1. Very clearly the star of that show. Joy, excellent job. Did we leave anything out?
Oh, no, just follow my foundation too, Joy T Foundation.
Always great to see you, Joy. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Az. Enjoy Pearl Jam.